Good morning on Friday, June the 23rd. I realize I'm doing kind of a lot of garden updates right now, but that's kind of what's going on. Just got back from Walkies with Avery, and I was doing a little live Instagram video, but I thought I'd do one with my blogging and see if I could keep it relatively short, because I have to go off. I'm helping with the kids' camps. So the nature camp. So I'm off to Texas Beach today. And I guess we'll just start over here. The jewelweed continues to grow. I'm not sure when it's going to bloom. Chase tree is kind of crowded out. Some rudbeckia in here. I have to get some better support for my poor elderberry because it keeps leaning over the path. We had a good bit of rain during the night, a relatively gentle rain, but everything's pretty saturated. So I'll go from this side. Horseradish is in there, comfrey, you've seen these. This guy is going to bloom sooner than it did last year. Everything's sooner. Picked another cucumber this morning and a couple squash from over there. Corn, I've got corn coming up. Everything is humid and damp, so it seems to be putting growth out pretty quickly. I cut back the larkspur to save the seed. So larkspur is all cut back and there's room for new things to grow. There's some zinnias in here and marigolds and I think there's some California poppies in there, a few other things. A bunch of the daylilies are blooming. I've got my first bloom on my Mexican red sunflower, which is pretty cool. And these are a chocolate cosmos that have been blooming. They would have done better if I had realized these guys were going to grow so much. I wouldn't have planted them so close together. But there's a tomatillo, tomatoes back there. Hollyhocks, despite the rust, keep blooming. Here's a bronze fennel. I had to prop this up this morning because it was just all floppy from the rain. But I've got, this is where I took out the larkspur, and there's some more rudbeckia in here and a few other things. I transplanted some of my little bronze fennel over here too. Poppies are putting out their pods. The rudbeckia here, the black-eyed Susans mixed with some zinnia here. And there's more zinnia coming up in here. I'd thrown some more seed in because these guys will be cut back at some point, but you know, clearly the bees are still enjoying them. The nigella is about done, it looks like, but the pods are pretty cool. More red seed poppies. There's the sunflowers on this side. I'll give you a overview this way. Here we've got more daylilies and poppies. That's a ridiculously tall sunflower. All of these are, partially I think because they're in partial shade. The rudbeckia in here. I don't know if this Sweet Annie blooms or what. It smells really good, but I think it's getting some little buds on it. We'll see what kind of little blooms it gets. Have to cut back the feverfew in there. More sunflowers. And the calendula I've been picking and starting to dry the petals. Nasturtiums, angelica, meadowsweet. Tansy is very tall back there. Some different coreopsis blooming. The comfrey continues to bloom. The foxgloves are all done for the most part. Got to cut back some of the motherwort back there. I was leaving it till the blooms were done because the bees really like the motherwort blooms. These red curry squash are starting to spread, so I'm going to have them grow over all of this debris. There's some cilantro in here. That's actually, I need to pick it if I'm going to use it. Otherwise it's all going to be going to seed, which is okay too. Okra, basil, corn in there, some more dill, more sunflowers, pole beans, collards, chrysanthemums. You're too early, guys, and they're kind of choking out one of my St. John's wort. I have another one over here too that's pretty much overshadowed by all of these guys. There's another St. John's wort down in there, so it's probably not going to bloom, but that's all right. They can establish themselves. And over here, more calendula and sorrel. This St. John's wort may bloom. There's the mullein, almost done blooming. I didn't do anything with it. I'm just going to let it kind of spread this year. And the elecampane, I may need to give that a little bit of support. And everything else you've seen, I just thought I'd give an overview of the growth. And what I've got, the Jerusalem artichokes may be blooming soon too. Let's see here. Might be. I'm getting some little eggplant to come too. And a pepper, one sweet pepper, and the hot peppers keep putting out. And that is just a little quickie overview. Everything else I think I've shown you and talked about. And there's nothing new really going on in the back. So I will leave that at that. And there's Miss Avery. Have a good Friday, folks.